Hi all, welcome back. My name is Bhushan Kumar, and in the previous tutorial we have learned coupling in Java, right? And we had seen how a class is directly coupled with another class, which limits the reusability of that class, right? So we had seen that point class is tightly coupled with triangle class, and this is limiting the reusability of the triangle class. What I mean to say is, so if I want to draw a triangle with different points, right, we will not be able to do that, right, the the values of all 3 points have been assigned in this triangle class, right? So as I said, in this tutorial I will try to decouple these two classes and inject the dependency, the point dependency from the third class drawing. Okay, so the topic for today's lecture is dependency injection in Java. So without wasting any time, let's start right away. Okay, so let's start with the circle. So in this circle class, if you want to not instantiate the point class, we would just declare this point class here. Okay, so instead of modifying this one, let's create another class called circle1. Okay, and this circle1 will implement shape interface, right? So let's implement the draw method, right? Okay, so this circle needs a center point, right? And instead of setting, okay, so instead of instantiating this point here, let's just initialize this point class here. Okay, and we will set the values of x and y coordinates of the center point from the uh, another class called drawing. Okay, so we are not going to set the values like this here, but we would certainly need this print statement to print the values of x and y. So let's put it here. All right. Okay, so we would need to do one more thing here. Instead of directly setting the values x and y here, we would create the getter and setter methods here. Okay, so let's create the getter and setter methods from this generate center. Okay, done. And let's move this line up for the better readability. Okay, all right, so let's go to the drawing class and comment this line for now. And we would need to instantiate this circle class, right? So we would say circle1. Oh, new circle1, right? And this circle1 needs a point, right? As you can see, this point. So let's instantiate this point here. We would say center equals new point, all right? And let's set the values of x and y coordinates. So we would say set x. Let's have this value as 11. Similarly, we would set the value for y. Let's set it as 21. Okay, so now we have the point ready, and we want to set this point into the circle, right? So we can see here, right? Circle, the center point was not instantiated here. Instead, we are instantiating here, and this dependency, this circle has a dependency on point, right? Circle has a dependency on point. So without point, circle is nothing, right? So we would set we would use this set center method to assign the center point to the circle. Okay, so let's do that. We'll say circle one dot set center, and we would assign this center, right? So we've done. Okay, so we are passing this dependency, this point dependency, not from this circle, not in the circle cone class directly. We are injecting this point dependency into this circle one class from this drawing class. Okay, so let's let's assign this circle one to the shape. So shape was already initialized at the top, and the circle class we have already instantiated. So let's assign this, and we are ready. So let's run it. All right, now we can see the center or circle is drawn. This the center point is being printed here. Okay, so similarly we will remove the dependency in triangle class. Okay, so the points are directly instantiated here. There's a there is a direct coupling, right? So we would not instantiate these points here. Rather, we would instantiate these points into the drawing class. Okay, and then inject the dependency, this point dependency, into the triangle class from this drawing class, as we have done for the circle. Okay, so instead of modifying this one, let's create another class called triangle one, right? And this triangle one class will implement this shape interface, right? And let's implement the method, this draw method of the shape into the triangle one. Okay, so this needs 3 points, point A, point B, and point C, right? So let's initialize these points here. Point B, similarly it needs another point C, right? Point C. Okay, so now we would need to print these points and set the values of this return setter from the set the values of each coordinate of each point from this drawing class. Okay, so let's copy this print statement. Instead, we will not use this set methods here. We will just use this print statements. Let's copy from the original class and then print here. Okay, so instead of hard coding the values, these values, we would just generate the setter and getter. So let's generate for all these 3 points. Okay, and for better readability, let's copy these points at the top. All right, yeah, so we are ready with this triangle one class, right? So we have 3 points, and getters and setters are ready, and then draw method is ready. So let's go to the drawing class and comment this line. Okay, and instantiate triangle one, new triangle one, right? Okay, so this triangle needs 3 points, right? So point, let's instantiate each point A equals new point, right? So similarly we need point B and point C, right? So let's do it, point B and point C, right? Now we would need, as we can see here, right? So we would need to pass this point dependency in the triangle class. How would we do that? We would use this setter methods, okay, to inject the dependency. So let's inject the dependencies of point into the triangle one. So we would say triangle one dot set point A, okay, and yeah, we would say passes point A. Okay. Similarly, we would do for others B and C. All right. Okay. So one thing we have missed here, we've just initialized all 3 points, but we have not set the values like x and y coordinates of each point, right? So let's set the values. What we would do is we would just copy from here and set the values here. So let's make some modification. We would say 13, 19, 20, 24, 37, and maybe 39. Okay. So we have instantiated this triangle class. We have instantiated all 3 points. We have set the values of each x and y coordinates of each point, and then we have set the points. We have injected this point dependence in the triangle using the setter method. Now we would pass this triangle into shape. Okay, we will assign this triangle into shape. So shape was already initialized at the top, and triangle is initialized here. So since triangle is implementing shape, right, you would just assign triangle into shape, right? So let's run it. So as we can see, all 3 points have been drawn. Okay, so let's conclude this tutorial. What we have learned, we have uh, passed the dependencies, right? We have injected the dependencies from this drawing class. Rather, instead, we initialized these points here, right? So as we can see, in the original class, the point A, point B, and point C were instantiated directly, and then their values were set here. In dependency injection concept, we initialized the points here. We generated getter and setter methods, and we we assigned the values of points here, and then injected the dependencies from this drawing class, right? So this is dependency injection concept. So this was the second concept after we started this, the understanding of the need of this Spring framework. So we have discussed coupling in Java, dependency injection in Java, and in the next tutorial, I would discuss this inversion of control and dependency injection in Spring. There we would understand the need of the Spring framework, right? Thank you. Thanks for watching.